Hey, well, it's Huck, and I apologize. It has been like 3 weeks or more since I last posted. And to be honest with you, about 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, um, I was having a little health issue of my own, and I had to go see my doctor. About 2 years ago, less than 2 years ago, I went in and had a stress test because I was having some chest pain and some other symptoms, and at any rate, the test, let's say, was inconclusive. And they couldn't find any definitive evidence that I had any kind of coronary disease, or any blockage or anything. So, the good news was I didn't have to get any kind of um, procedure done. No angioplasty, no stents or anything worse. Um, what they did was they gave me some medications to take daily, and at any rate, I was experiencing some more of these, combination of symptoms, some chest discomfort, and kind of like some pain. Um, my jaw was getting like real tight, like clenched and real painful. Wasn't going away. Um, and on top of everything else, I was just exhausted all the time. I mean, literally, um, could not find any energy. I would get up, and an hour later, I would have to go back to bed. Um, this went on for like 2 or 3 days, and I thought this can't continue. I went in to see my doctor. He felt that there were signs, a combination of these symptoms suggested possibly the heart. Again, maybe some blockage or whatever. Um, so about a week and a half ago, I finally got in to see this cardiologist, and this is a different one, but works with the same group as the guy I saw, year and a half ago or whatever. Now he kind of felt that with my, severe COPD or whatever, he didn't really want to put me through another stress test. He didn't feel, artificially stimulating my heart with another injection or whatever wasn't probably in my best interest. So he went ahead and just scheduled, another CAT scan, I guess. And I know it was my a healthcare provider just called me yesterday, so I know that it has been approved. I don't know at what date I'm going to go in. Now, this was about a week and a half ago or so that I was having several weeks ago that I was having these all of these symptoms, and like they began, like after 3 or 4 days, they kind of tapered off and not come back so far. So all that's good. In the meantime, my dog has been giving me quite a scare. So I think I've explained before, she's been diagnosed now for some time with congestive heart failure. And the net result is that her heart's not pumping sufficiently. She's also tired a lot of the time. Um, can't play or do any of the things that she used to do. Um, she has good days and bad days, but about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, she started having, well, her lungs fill up with fluid as a result of her, malfunctioning heart. And a couple of the medications that she takes every day are supposed to help her rid herself of these, excess fluids. Apparently, it wasn't enough to do the job because about a week and a half ago or so, she was really struggling to breathe. I mean, just 24 hours a day, she was just hacking and coughing and really in distress. And I thought that was it. I thought I was going to have to call in and I thought I was going to lose my Gigi. And, I called the veterinarian to see if there was anything more they could do. They suggested that one of the medications that she takes a pill in the morning, she takes a pill at night of something called furosemide. which, like I say, is kind of like a diuretic, I guess, helps her shed some of the water. Well, he suggested that to give her 1.5 in the morning, 1.5 at night, at least for 3 or 4 days, and then um, if it was if she was improving, then to go back to her normal dosage, and she wasn't improving, to bring her in. So it took about 3 days, but she did, come around, and it seemed to work. So she's not, hacking or coughing near as much. She still does, but not near as much. And for the most part, she's able to. Well, she's doing much better. So we've been able to put that off for a while, hopefully. You'll see I have a Biden president sign here. Now they've come out with the new ones. Now that he's named uh, Kamala Harris as his vice presidential running mate. Uh, they have the Biden Harris 2020 signs out. Um, I have been seeing more Trump Pence signs here in my small town than I recall ever seeing for any candidate ever before. So clearly, uh, Trump is winning the yard sign war, at least in my neck of the woods. From time to time, I go take a ride out into the country. I think it was about a week ago or so. Um, I was driving up north, up in a more rural area north of here, up towards Lake Erie, which is about an hour or so north of here. And as you get out in the country there, in northern Ohio, in some of these rural areas. One moment. Then on the from the heart, Biden should speak to the city and the country. Sorry, my TV was on pause, and it will only pause for so long until it'll kick back on. Uh, anyway, there were Trump signs galore out in the country, so I had to go down and give me another Biden sign. I have one out in the yard now, and I urge you to do two things. One, get yourself a Biden sign or a Biden flag or a Biden bumper sticker. Um, let's 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 not let the opposition win this propaganda war. Um, the other thing is, if you haven't already, make sure you are registered to vote. And if you plan on voting by mail, contact your Board of Elections. Call them up and ask them to send you an application for an absentee ballot. Do that now. And once you get your application, send it in immediately. And at least that's how it works in Ohio. Now, I've sent mine in, and I just recently received a call from the Board of Elections. Apparently, I did not fill out one. There's a spot on the application form where it asks for your birthday. And apparently, I did not fill that out. So they called me and asked me for that information, which I did give them over the phone. Now, they won't send me an absentee ballot now because it's still too early. They won't have them available probably until sometime, I'm guessing probably around mid-September. Something like that is when I anticipate they will finally have them printed up and ready maybe to get them out to voters. But because of all of the shenanigans going on with the Postal Service right now, and thanks to the abominable Trump administration, you want to do this early, and you want to do this. So again, you want to call your Board of Elections, ask them if you need to submit some kind of an application to get your absentee ballot, or whether or not they can just send you out your absentee ballot. You want to vote by mail? This is what you need to do. And if they send you out an application, fill it out completely, double check it. Apparently, I missed one item. Now, I can't guarantee that they will do what they did in my case. They called me and said, "Hey, you missed something on this application." I mean, they may, in your area, they may see that you didn't fill something out properly. I don't know that they will call you. Maybe they'll just throw your application away. I understand that in some counties around the country, they're throwing away, absentee ballots. Um, I think one county threw away 50,000 absentee ballots because of, you know, something incorrect, or because they received them a little late or whatever. So again, my advice to you is, if you intend to vote by mail, call your county board of elections, ask them if you need to submit an application or whether or not they can just send you an absentee ballot. If they need to send you a application for an absentee ballot or a vote by mail ballot, then tell them that you want them to send you out that application forthright. Once you receive it, fill it out, send it in immediately, and then follow up. Call a week or two later and make sure that they have received it, your application for an absentee ballot. Now, once they send you out the actual ballot, the actual vote by mail or absentee ballot, which again, I think in most cases isn't going to happen until probably early September, or later. But once you get that ballot, you want to fill that out completely, double check it, triple check it to make sure everything is done properly. Now, there are you know, various different information out. There's a variety of information out there about how to return your absentee ballot or your vote by mail ballot. And as far as the post is concerned, I guess many states have a postage paid at bulk rate, stamp already on it that postage is paid by the board of elections or the state that you live in or whatever. I have heard that if you put actual postage stamps on there, however, they have to deliver it first class mail. So I know here in Ohio, we've been told that if you're going to put a stamp on it, you need to put two stamps on it because one stamp won't be, actual sufficient postage. I've heard all kinds of, alternative versions of this, however. I've heard that if you put a stamp on it, it won't be enough, or I've heard that the state will require that they, deliver it anyway, and that the post office will be asked to pay the state will be asked to pay the difference, or the board of elections will be asked to pay the difference. I'm suggesting that you don't want to take any chances. I would do this, and this is what I intend to do. I'm going to put two stamps on that sucker, two regular postage stamps, not one, and I'm not going to mail it. I'm going to take it there. I'm going to take it there, and most counties are going to have a drop box, an election ballot drop box, somewhere, in front of or behind, the county board of elections office, and you can deposit your ballot there. Now, I know some states are planning on having drop boxes, scattered around the county in different places. I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to take it directly to the county board itself, and I'm going to drop that ballot off either inside to the people that work there, or within the official box that's located right there on the premises, one or the other. But I'm not going to mail it. I'm just not going to take any chances. Now, you can certainly, vote in person, but for a lot of people, that's going to create a lot of headaches because they have been eliminating precincts. They are, condensing the number of, precincts in which, one can vote, particularly in more populated urban areas, for instance. So I can imagine that there are going to be plenty of places where, 4 hours, 6 hours, or longer could be the norm. and we've seen this show before. So if you can vote by mail, do it. Start early, hand delivered if possible. I would be remiss, however, if I don't mention one other thing. I have been meaning to do a Trump video, but again, as I've mentioned before, every time I contemplate putting together something about Trump, I keep thinking of the unbelievable avalanche of uh, completely unhinged, unacceptable, uh, outrageous uh, behaviors, actions, policies of this Trump administration. Um, and I simply don't know where to begin. Um, and I mean, there are so many outrageous uh, situations involving Trump and those around him and his administration that we've forgotten most of them. You can forget 3 days later something outrageous that's happened due to Trump because the next 3 days are just filled with more outrageous behavior of a different type. But I think, for instance, during the whole um, investigative process, during the impeachment process, as Congress was trying to investigate, who did what within the administration. When they were trying to get information from the State Department and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, when they were trying to interview Gerald Jared Kushner, when they were trying to talk to one of the key figures in the impeachment proceedings, White House counsel McGahn. Um, at each and every turn, uh, Trump basically denied Congress the right to interview any of these people by telling them that they couldn't testify, and denied Congress, which has a right of a constitutionally protected right to for oversight of the executive branch. Um, he still refused to turn over or allow any of the federal agencies, whether it be the Justice Department, whether it be the State Department, whether it be the White House itself, uh, and the legal counsel's office. Um, he absolutely refused to turn over any documents, any records, um, and this is frankly, unprecedented. I mean, it's to this degree, it's unprecedented. I mean, there have been occasions, Richard Nixon comes to mind when, maybe one thing or specific set of documents has been withheld and fought through the courts, but never just a blanket. No, you can't have any. Period. I don't recognize your right to even ask. Um, like I said, that happened a long time ago. The Senate, um, the Senate Committee on Intelligence Committee finally released their report at long last into this whole Russia investigation for the 2016 campaign, and of course, it verified and uh, you know basically verified everything that we always thought to be true, and that Mueller um, either failed to get to the bottom of, or was never fully released. Um, and that is that the Trump administration and the Trump campaign um, were in constant contact. Um, not only were they encouraging Russian interference, but they were collaborating with the Russians. every step of the way. And that's why Roger Stone was convicted. Um, and the fact that he has pardoned, that Trump has pardoned Roger Stone, the fact that he is, well, like I say, one outrageous accident after another. Um, it is disheartening after all of that we're seeing what's going on now. And that's, that he is um, using the completely unacceptable racial divisions in this country as a wedge issue to try to drum up his base and scare, uh, independents and, Republicans on the fence to believe that they're in some kind of a dangerous situation, and that all of these um, people that are marching for equality and an end to violence and police brutality and excessive force, um, that somehow this is a threat to the middle class suburbs of white America, and apparently it's working because Trump's poll numbers are going up, and and the race is tightening, and that seems to be the issue that's doing it. And all I can say is it's absolutely appalling. Um, I don't know. I want to do a video more about this whole Black Lives Matter business, but I know that it's an issue that makes a lot of white people very uncomfortable, and it it should make you uncomfortable, but for the wrong reasons. I think uh, are you uncomfortable? You should be uncomfortable because there are policemen walking around right now um, who are um, frankly undeserving of wearing a badge, and shouldn't be empowered to protect anybody because they can't do it even-handedly. Um, the truth is that there's an excessive force problem in this country that goes beyond, just using excessive force, with minorities. It's just that, uh, if you're a black man or a black woman in this country, um, you have a very good reason to be afraid that your next encounter with the police is going to possibly be a fatal one. And while that happens also with some white folks, not nearly um, in the percentages that we see among black folks. And I mean, how many unarmed black people do we need to see, um, shot down? Many of them, are, maybe not having their best day. Maybe some of them are, guilty of some offense. Um, but we don't hire policemen to be executioners. We don't hire policemen to, to be judge and jury. Uh, if under normal circumstances, if you are fleeing a party because you're underage drinking, or if you're, um, you know, uh, shoplifting, or whatever it is that you may have done wrong. If you're a white person, even under those circumstances, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to be shot and killed. Um, if you're a black person, you have real reason to believe that you might be. And that's just not right. Like I say, um, however, because there is a Fox News and because there is so much other conservative media who are not above, manipulating the news that you watch, every time they show the legitimate, peaceful protests going on around the country, um, they're going to focus, of course, on the most violent extremists that show up and that are guilty of looting. Now, don't get me wrong. I think people that loot and people that are, you know, um, causing destructive violence, um, should be arrested, should be, charged for their behavior, and they should be punished. No question about it. But likewise, I mean, if you're a policeman and you're guilty of um, killing somebody, you should be charged as well. You you can't blame every policeman for what the bad ones are guilty of, and you can't blame every protester or every protest in general for what a few bad apples may be doing to take advantage of that. So I think I think America needs to take a hard look at one thing, though. Trump would like you to believe that voting for him is going to calm things down. And yet, we are seeing all of this happen, all of this unfold because of the divisions that he himself has encouraged and in many ways riled up within many of his followers. And a good example of that is the case of the 17-year-old who illegally transported a firearm he wasn't even old enough to own, an AR-17 or AR-15, I guess, which he transported across state lines from Illinois into Kenosha, Wisconsin, and apparently looking for a way to use it, and did, killing two protesters and wounding at least one other. Um, Everything I've read about this boy sounds like he was raised essentially, um, with this kind of retaliation in mind. And there's no excuse for it. Many in the conservative movement right now are hailing this monster as as some type of a hero, when in fact I think he and his parents should probably be punished for murder. Um, but what's really troubling in all of this is that you look at what this young man did, age of 17, drove some 20 miles or whatever from his home to another town, uh, basically looking for a fight, and with a weapon that he should never have had on him. Then, after doing this, he walks by policemen who don't do a thing to arrest him. I mean, he was allowed to go home. He was allowed to get a good night's sleep, and wasn't arrested until the following day. Um, compare that to all of these young black men who have been shot completely unarmed, or Tamer Rice, who lived, an hour north of here in Cleveland, who was out playing with a toy gun and was shot before he ever had a chance to say, "Hi, who are you? What'd you say?" Apparently, this Rittenhauser, or whatever his name is, the 17-year-old kid, um, was actually approached by policemen before these incidents as he was walking through the streets of Kenosha with his AR-15, along with, from what I understand, um, many other militia types. Um, and he was actually thanked by a policeman for showing up and for supporting the police. There are clearly some policemen who should not be policemen, and I think you could probably start by looking at the Kenosha Police Department. At any rate, that's my feeling right now, and I'm obviously, feeling some rage over it. I can't even put my thoughts together. But I just want to, say that I hope to put something together on this whole Trump uh, business here. Maybe within a week or so, I can put my thoughts together. One of the things that impressed me about the Democratic convention was, I listened to most of it. I watched, a good deal of it. And a couple of speakers that really moved me. Obviously, I thought President Obama's speech was very dramatic, and uh, he um, it was a little frightening to hear an ex-president um, talk in the tones that he did about exactly how stark a choice um, we face this year in this election. Um, I was very moved by the young boy, the 13-year-old. I think his name was Braden uh, Harrington, uh, young man from New Hampshire, whose father introduced him to Joe Biden along a rope line when Biden was up there campaigning. I think prior to the New Hampshire primary, and apparently the boy's father had heard that Biden had not only overcome stuttering, at some point in his early life, but that he had taken the time and effort to work with a number of other young people who had that problem, and so I think he was hoping that maybe uh, Vice President Biden would um, take a moment to give some encouragement to young Braden, who has struggled with stuttering. And well, apparently he did. He went far beyond that. He got the boy's phone number. Later, uh, got together with him, gave him some tips on, um, how to practice, how to how to overcome that that handicap. And so to hear young Braden give his little 2-minute speech about what that advice and encouragement did for him, I thought really painted Biden in uh, such a contrast to what we know of Donald Trump and how he deals with people. Um, so, and of course, I thought Joe Biden's speech was terrific. I mean, he really rose to the occasion. I thought uh, so. Anyway, I was very encouraged by what I saw. I did not watch the Republican convention. I'll be honest with you. I did see some. I did see some clips of it, and I will save my impressions of that for another time. Anyway, I've taken way too much time. Again, I really apologize for taking all this time off. I really wasn't feeling well for portion of that time period. Um, I want to say one other thing. I would be would be remiss if I did not mention that I am again um, just tremendously grateful for the financial assistance that I have been receiving. It has really helped me out. It's really helping to get me through. Um, Probably no more greater than this last month and a half when things were really tight, and I had a number of things come up that, um, well, uh, I would have, I would have been in real deep trouble had it not been for the help that I've been receiving. So, um, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And anyway, so that's it for now. I will talk to you again real soon. Thanks for watching.